Isabella stepped in after her father. John Knightley, forgetting that he did not belong to their party, stepped in after his wife very naturally, so that Emma found out, being escorted and followed into the second carriage by Mr. Elton, that the door was to be lawfully shut on them, and that they were to have a tete-a-tete drive. It would not have been the awkwardness of a moment, it would have been rather a pleasure, previous to the suspicions of this very day. She could have talked to him of Harriet, and the 3/4 of a mile would have seemed but one, but now she would rather it had not happened. She believed he had been drinking too much of Mr. Weston's good wine, and felt sure that he would want to be talking nonsense. To restrain him as much as might be by her own manners, she was immediately preparing to speak with exquisite calmness and gravity of the weather and the night. But scarcely had she begun, scarcely had they passed the sweep gate and joined the other carriage, then she found her subject cut up. Her hand seized, her attention demanded, and Mr. Elton actually making violent love to her, availing himself of the precious opportunity, declaring sentiments which must be already well known, hoping, fearing, adoring, ready to die if she refused him, but flattering himself that his ardent attachment and unequalled love and unexampled passion could not fail of having some effect, and in short very much resolved on being seriously accepted as soon as possible. It really was so, without scruple, without apology, without much apparent diffidence. Mr. Elton, the lover of Harriet, was professing himself her lover. She tried to stop him, but vainly. He would go on and say it all. Angry as she was, the thought of the moment made her resolve to restrain herself, and she did speak. She felt that half this folly must be drunkenness, and therefore could hope that it might belong only to the passing hour. Accordingly, with a mixture of the serious and the playful, which she hoped would best suit his half and half state, she replied,
I am very astonished, Mr. Elton. This is to me. You forget yourself. You take me for your friend. Any message to Miss Smith I'll be happy to deliver, but no more of this to me, if you please.
Miss Smith? Message to Miss Smith? What does she possibly mean?
Elton, this is the most extraordinary conduct, and I cannot account for it in only one way. You are not yourself, or you cannot speak to me or Harriet in such a manner. Command yourself enough to say no more, and I will endeavor you forget it.
But Mr. Elton had only drunk wine enough to elevate his spirits, not at all to confuse his intellects. He perfectly knew his own meaning, and having warmly protested against her suspicion as most injurious, and slightly touched upon his respect for Miss Smith as her friend, but acknowledging his wonder that Miss Smith should be mentioned at all, he resumed the subject of his own passion, and was very urgent for a favorable answer. As she thought less of his impiety, she thought more of his inconstancy and presumption, and with fewer struggles for politeness replied,
It is impossible for me to doubt any longer. You have made yourself too clear, Mr. Elton. My astonishment is beyond anything I can express. After such behavior as I have witnessed during the last month to Miss Smith, such attentions as I have been in daily habit of observing, to be addressing me in this manner. This is unsteadiness of character indeed, which I had not supposed possible. Believe me, sir, I am far, very far from gratified in being the object of such profession.
Good heavens! I never... What gave me the meaning of this? Miss Smith! I never thought of Miss Smith in the whole course of my existence! Never paid her any attention, but as your friend, never cared whether she was dead or alive. But as your friend, if she fancied otherwise, her own wishes would have misled her. And I'm very sorry, extremely sorry, but Miss Smith indeed! Oh, Miss Woodhouse! Who can think of Miss Smith when Miss Woodhouse is near? No, upon my honor, there is no unsteadiness of character. I have thought of only you. I protest against getting paid smallest attention to anyone else. Everything I have said or done for many weeks past have been to the sole view of marking my adoration for yourself. You cannot really seriously doubt it. No! I'm sure you have seen and understood me.
Impossible to say what Emma felt on hearing this, which of all her unpleasant sensations was uppermost. She was too completely overpowered to be immediately able to reply. In 2 moments of silence, being ample encouragement for Mr. Elton's sanguine state of mind, he tried to take her hand again as he joyously exclaimed,
Charming Miss Woodhouse, allow me to interpret this interesting silence. It confesses that you have long understood me.
No, sir. It confesses no such thing. So... Can you Read it and can I talk? Can I mouth the words?
Where is it? Mr. Elton, this is the most extraordinary conduct.
Just going for it.
Bloody hell, Emma! Good heaven! What gives you the name?
Oh,
Devore to a poor god!